My brothers and sisters of Uganda, when the United Nations raises its voice to warn about an election, when international bodies begin to whisper concerns about a nation's voting process, it is not because they care more than you do about your future. No, it is because the signs are already written on the wall, and the world has seen this story before. The question is not whether the storm is coming. The storm is already here. The question is whether you will face it standing together or divided against each other. Let me tell you something from my heart. I speak to you not as a president, not as a leader from another land, but as an African brother who has watched our continent bleed too many times, because old men refused to let go of power and young people paid the price with their blood. I speak to you as someone who understands what it means when a generation finally says enough is enough. You see, my brothers and sisters, what is happening in Uganda right now, we have seen it before. We have seen it in my own Burkina Faso. We have seen it across West Africa, across East Africa, across the Sahel, across this beautiful continent that refuses to learn from its own wounds. There is a formula, a pattern that repeats itself like a curse we cannot break. First comes the tension. You feel it in the air, in the way people whisper instead of speak, in the way soldiers appear on corners where children used to play. Then comes the repression. Opposition leaders are targeted. Journalists who ask questions find themselves in dark rooms. Human rights defenders become enemies of the state. Young people who dream of something different are called agents of foreign powers. Then the violence begins. Not always with guns, not always with blood at first. Sometimes it is the violence of silence, the violence of fear, the violence of an internet that suddenly stops working because they do not want you to see what is happening in your own country. The violence of peaceful gatherings broken up by security forces who are supposed to protect you, not scare you. And then comes the day. But by then, my brothers and sisters, by then it is not a choice anymore. It is a ritual. It is a ceremony where everyone already knows the ending. And the only question is how many people will pretend not to see the truth. The United Nations Human Rights Office has warned you. They have told you that your election is being held in an environment of widespread repression and fear. They have told the world that opposition politicians and their supporters are being targeted by security forces, that journalists, human rights defenders, and those who speak out face restrictions, that your security forces have used force to break up peaceful gatherings. But you know this already, do you not? You do not need the UN to tell you what you see with your own eyes, what you feel in your own bones. The UN warning is not news to you. It is confirmation. It is the world finally saying out loud what you have been living in silence. Now, when the United Nations issues such a warning, let me explain to you what this really means. It means they have studied the situation. It means things are already bad and they are afraid things will get worse, much worse. They have seen the signs that come before the explosion. They have read the history book of Africa, and they know which chapter comes next. This is not guessing, my brothers and sisters. This is pattern recognition. When political space shrinks, when opposition is scared systematically, when media freedom is under attack, when security forces are weaponized against citizens, when violence is either already happening or expected to happen, the international community raises the alarm not because they love you so much, but because they have seen this movie before and they know how it ends. Let me be very clear with you about something. What is happening in Uganda right now is not just about ballots. It is not just about votes or about January 15th or about who becomes president. No, my brothers and sisters, this is about power versus people. This is about a system that has ruled for too long, coming face to face with a generation that is no longer afraid. This is about a generation that is yearning for change, demanding change, willing to risk everything for change. On one side of this struggle, you have President Yoweri Museveni, 70 years old, a man who has ruled Uganda since 1986. Think about this for a moment. Really think about it. This is a man who has seen an entire generation born, grow up, become adults, and now challenge him. All while he remained in power, all while he sat in the same chair, made the same promises, used the same tactics. When Museveni took power in 1986, Bobi Wine was just a small child, a kindergarten kid, jumping here and there, dancing, singing those innocent songs that children sing, not knowing that 40 years later he would become the face of resistance against the same man who was president when he was born. Can you imagine? Your entire life from birth to adulthood, one man has been president. One man has controlled the narrative. One man has decided what Uganda should be. And now on the other side you have Bobi Wine. He is not just a politician. Let us be honest about this. He is a symbol of youth resistance, a symbol of popular frustration, a symbol of a generation that refuses to accept that things cannot change. He was not a traditional politician who went to political schools and learned how to shake hands and make empty promises. No, he is a cultural force turned political challenger. He is a musician who sang the pain of his people until the people said, "You understand us, now lead us." This is what frightens the system, my brothers and sisters. Not Bobi Wine the individual, not his policies or his party or his campaign. What frightens the system is what Bobi Wine represents. He represents a generation born under one ruler, youth who feel locked out of opportunity, citizens tired of recycled promises, a population connected through social media, sharing information, organizing, documenting, a political awakening that cannot be easily controlled or scared or silenced. Let me tell you something I have learned. The system does not trust the people. When you see military deployments before an election, when you see arrests of activists, when you see fear used as policy, when you see internet shutdowns and journalist harassment, it tells you one thing very clearly. The system does not trust the people. Think about this. Any government confident in popular support does not fear communications. Any leader who truly believes the people love them, want them, choose them freely. Such a leader does not shut down the internet. Such a leader does not arrest journalists. Such a leader does not break up peaceful gatherings with force. Internet shutdowns mean one thing and one thing only. They want to control the narrative. Because when people can document what is happening, when people can live stream the truth, when people can organize and share information and coordinate, power loses its monopoly. Power loses the ability to tell you that what you are seeing with your own eyes is not really happening. Power loses the ability to make you doubt your own realities. That is why authoritarian systems always attack the internet first, then they attack journalists, then they attack independent observers. They tell international monitors, "Do not come here with your foreign ideas. Do not bring your standards to our country," because they know that light is the enemy of darkness and truth is the enemy of oppression. January 15th is dangerous, my brothers and sisters. Let us not pretend it is not. It is very dangerous. But not because of Bobi Wine, not because of the opposition. It is dangerous as the system has made it dangerous. It is dangerous because when leaders stay too long, elections stop being democratic exercises. They become security operations. They become missions to maintain power at all costs. What you are seeing in Uganda right now is a full operation. It is like watching a military prepare for war. Except the enemy is not a foreign army. The enemy is you. The people, the citizens, those who want change, those who dream of something different, those who believe that 40 years is long enough. My brothers and sisters, I want you to understand something very important. What is happening in Uganda is bigger than just Uganda. That is why I from Burkina Faso speak about it. That is why people across Africa are watching. That is why the youth of this continent feel connected to your struggles. What is happening in Uganda is part of a continental struggle. Across Africa, we are witnessing the youth rejecting old political contracts. We are witnessing citizens questioning liberation-era rulers who believe that, because they fought for independence, they own the country forever. We are witnessing a demand for accountability, not nostalgia. We are witnessing a refusal to inherit silence. This is the same energy we saw in West Africa. The same energy we saw in the Sahel when young people said enough to puppet governments and permanent rulers. The same energy we see in the diaspora when young Africans refuse to accept that corruption and dictatorship are just African culture. The difference is that Uganda's system is deeply entrenched, deeply entrenched. And entrenched systems do not reform easily. They resist, they fight, they use every tool of power to maintain themselves. But here is what history teaches us, and I want you to listen carefully. Long-serving rulers never believe they will fall. Never, they believe they are exceptions. They believe they are necessary. They believe the nation cannot survive without them. This psychology is very dangerous because once a leader becomes the state, any challenge to their power feels like an attack on the country itself. This is no longer a man ruling alone. This is a military structure, a patronage economy, a political elite dependent on continuity, because if things change, they lose everything. Foreign interests that prefer predictability because they have deals and contracts and arrangements. Institutions shaped around one personality, so that if that personality leaves, everything collapses. When people ask why does he not just retire, they misunderstand the situation completely. If he retires, many people lose protection. If he leaves, many structures collapse. If power changes hands, many secrets surface. And that is why transitions are always the most dangerous moments in any country's history. Now I want to speak directly to the youth of Uganda, The youth of 2026. Your minds are sharp, you are educated, you have the internet, you can access information, you can see what is happening in other countries, you can compare, you can analyze, you can think for yourselves. I am begging you, pleading with you, if your leader does not win, do not kill each other. Please do not let old politicians, whether young in age or old, do not let them turn you against your brothers and sisters. Do not let them use you to destroy your own future. We have seen it too many times these days. Violence, youth killing youth, communities divided, families destroyed, and when the smoke clears, when the bodies are counted, the politicians are still fine. They are still safe. They are still rich. It is you who have lost everything. It is your mother crying. It is your fathers burying their children. It is your sisters raped. It is your brothers dead. I know the passion is real. I know you want change. I know you are tired of waiting, tired of promises, tired of seeing your country's wealth stolen while you have no jobs, no opportunities, no future. I understand this. I feel it myself. But there is a way to fight that does not involve destroying ourselves. We should have another day of fighting. But intellectual fighting, fighting with ideas, with organization, with persistence, with documentation, with truth. Yes, some wins come with force, with noise, with chaos. But let us be smarter than that. Let us not have our brothers and sisters die because of politicians who will sleep peacefully in their mansions while you burn. Even if your leader does not win, do not panic. Do not despair. A day is coming when all of this will end. No ruler rules forever. No system lasts eternally. History is on the side of the people always eventually, but you must be alive to see that day. You must be united to build that future. The real question that no one is asking is this: what happens after January 15th? What happens next? Whether Museveni wins or Bobi Wine wins, what happens to Uganda? If Museveni wins, can the system return to normal? Can you go back to pretending everything is fine once people lose fear? Once legitimacy is questioned, once youth stop believing in the process, power becomes very expensive to maintain. You need more soldiers, more surveillance, more repression, more fear, and eventually even that is not enough. If Bobi Wine wins, will the system allow a peaceful transfer of power? Will the military structures accept it? Will the patronage networks dissolve peacefully? Will foreign interests that benefit from the current arrangement simply accept change? These are the questions that should terrify everyone, because the answer is uncertain, and uncertainty during transitions is when blood flows most easily. This is not just about who becomes president. It is about whether Africa continues to accept permanent rulers or whether the people finally say we deserve renewal. We deserve dignity. We deserve a future that is ours to build. My brothers and sisters of Uganda, the UN warning is not just a story. The story is why it was necessary. The story is what you do with this moment. The story is whether you let fear divide you or let hope unite you. I pray for peace in Uganda. I pray that you will vote with dignity. I pray that you will vote with peace in your hearts. I pray that whatever happens on January 15th, you will remember that you are Ugandans first before you are supporters of any politician. That you are Africans, brothers and sisters in this continental struggle for true liberation. We do not want chaos. We do not want what happened in other countries to repeat in Uganda. We want free and fair event. We want peaceful transitions. We want a future where the youth do not have to wait 40 years for a chance to lead. If you study history, the real history, not propaganda, you will notice something powerful. Change always comes. Always. Sometimes it comes peacefully. Sometimes it comes violently. Sometimes it comes quickly. Sometimes it takes generations, but it always comes. The question is only what price we pay for it. So vote. Vote for whoever you believe in. But vote freely, without fear, without intimidation. Document everything. Record everything. Let the world see. Let history witness. And when it is done, whatever the result, stay united. Stay peaceful. Stay focused on the long game. This is about the future of Uganda. This is about the future of Africa. This is about whether we will finally break the cycle of permanent rulers and inherited dictatorship, or whether we will pass this curse to another generation. The choice, my brothers and sisters, is yours. But know this: the world is watching. History is recording. And your children will ask you one day, what did you do in 2026? How did you fight for our future? Make sure you have an answer that makes them proud. May peace prevail in Uganda. May wisdom guide your actions. May courage sustain your struggle. And may the future you build be worthy of all you have endured.